spot in the group here at Grand Casino Arena. And yes, just a reminder again, Canada and Denmark, and the nightcap in Mini pregame show starts at 8 Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Just after that is when puck drop. And again, we're talking all about that Canada Olympic roster with Craig and MJ. Well, Sweden with another off day before that huge game New Year's Eve against the hosts. And we know what's next for Germany. Big one tomorrow against the Swiss. For Dave, Brian, Craig, Britt, and all of us here at TSN, thanks for watching our continuing coverage of these 2026 World Juniors.
We now join this program already in progress.
Right.
And just because it's an accident, that doesn't necessarily mean. Now, the good news is that Polentin has not left the bench. Looks like he's going to be fine.
But that's a clear cross check. I mean, it's the extension of the arms. It's all the things you look for in a cross check, right? The extension of the arms.
And there was no sort of riding up the stick or body of Polentin. He just put his stick into his neck.
And again, we've talked about this before, but in all IHF competitions, but especially these, they are very mindful of protection of the athlete.
And if you're wondering what Väisänen thinks of his infraction,
like he's peeking around.
He knows he's right on the edge of staying in this game. It's not. He's seen it. He knows it looks bad. He's shaking his head, but it's really what the refs are saying as they hash out what they want to do.
Won a Western League championship with Medicine Hat last year, playing with Gavin McKenna.
2 Canadian refs, Troy Murray, Hayden Verbeek, making a call, and it could be a big one in the game because while these teams have both been explosive, you don't think there'll be tons of offense. So here we go.
It's a big part of their team. And here's the call from Troy Murray.
13, Finland's being assessed a major penalty for cross-checking.
Can't be surprised.
Right.
I mean, that is brutal timing. We're a minute and 6 seconds in.
It's an automatic ejection.
Yes,
so
the 5-minute major is automatic, so Väisänen is done for the night. They got to put somebody else into the box.
A minute and 6 seconds into the game, he's done.
No. Nukari is the 7th defenseman. Will now slide up and play probably on the second pair with Bolius, which has been really effective in the tournament so far.
And
so
what an opportunity now for the Czechs with a 5-minute power play. They're 3 for 9 in the man advantage. Scored a couple against the Danes in that 7-2 win. And off the face-off, Kubiesa feeds that back to Galvas. Cross he goes to Chihas. Sikora, the captain, back for Chihas. A shot. He ripped that wide. Kubiesa feeds that down to Novotny. Back for Sikora. Sikora. Back for Galvas, and across to Kubiesa, tees it up, and the save is made by Rimpinen. And the heat's going to be on Petteri Rimpinen here in the opening moments of this game. Galvas had that poked away. A chance now for the Finn short-handed. Saralainen moves in, and Saralainen written off the puck by Chihas. Kubiesa brings it back the other way, snaps it ahead. Chihas drops it back to Galvas. In score! Shot by Kubiesa finds its way home. And 46 seconds into the 5-minute major, the Czechs have grabbed a 1-0 lead.
off the rush, even on the power play, Czechia can be dangerous, and Chihas makes it happen. The speed on the back check to turn Saralainen, and then it flips right around. The speed on the entry to drive and drop Galvas, who is piling up the points for Czechia, up the ice all the time. Kubiesa, we've seen him shoot the puck really well, and he rings this one off the post. A different kind of opponent for Finland than what they saw yesterday versus Latvia. Brilliant start. First minute of the five-minute power play. You get one, change over to the second group, and the Czechs are off and running.
Kubiesa plays for Trinets in the Czech League. 2 goals in 9 games this year. That's his second goal of the tournament. And Galvas, you mentioned, has 6 points now in 2 games and a bit.
In this group, it's hard to say. We're only just getting into it. Galvas has been as good as anybody in the tournament in this side of things.
You said he reminds you
Lane Hudson
in terms of his gestures and the style.
Mannerisms, the way he skates, the way he cuts and darts and dives and looks around his head, all of it.
And still 4 minutes to go in this power play for the Czechs. Gathered up, and there's Nukari. Sends it down the ice. So Nukari stepping up with Väisänen kick out of the game. Juracek for Curran. Jokiharju goes back, and the Finnish captain Aaron Kiviharju rather sends it back down the ice. Brought back up by Juracek for Sikora. Tries to squeeze that by Kiviharju. And gathered back up by Vestarinen. And that's batted back out by Suvato. Here is Kubiesa, the Czech goal scorer. Wraps it back around. Chihas tries to kick that ahead. Novotny works it free. Here's Galvis. Trying to poke that back ahead. It's knocked down the ice by Saarelainen.
Czechia got their one-zone entry of a face-off one and then a rush play. Dumping it in even while shorthanded is a tough task to get the puck off Finland.
Sikora trying to knock that down. Galvis trying to hold the line and does for the moment to Sikora. And now Sikora, nifty move on 3 players. Wow. And now held by Galvis. He winds in. Galvis sets it up for Chihas. Back across to Kubiesa. Fires. Kicked out by Rimpinen. Held by Galvis. Halfway through the 5-minute power play. Here's Sikora. Back for Galvis. Galvis in shoots. That was blocked in front by Saarelainen. Galvis back across. Sikora tees it up off the outside of the goal. Sikora chips that back to Galvis. Back for Sikora. Works it back across. Kubiesa tees it up and shoots. That's blocked by Mitja Jokinen, and the Finns are off. Now Saarelainen brings it back out with Ruhonen. And Saarelainen with a chance. That's turned away by Orsolak. Good short-handed bid there for the Finns. And Wojtek Chihas, the LA second-round pick, leaves it behind the net. Radim Benak. Drafted by the Minnesota Wild. Drops it back to Juracek. And Juracek chips it back down to the finish zone. Minute and a half to go in the power play. Juracek slides that back to Benak. Feeds it back across to Nestrashil. Václav Nestrashil's pass. Poked ahead by Benak. Nestrashil, one of the top-scoring freshmen in the NCAA at UMass Amherst. We talked about it before. 17 of the Czechs play in North America. 16 play major junior hockey. Nestrashil drops it back for Benak. Benak works in. Minute to go in the 5-minute power play. Juracek has a look. Feeds it back across for Nestrashil. That skipped away. Now Nestrashil back with it. Brings it back around for Benak. Slides that back down and finds Max Curran. Curran flips that back to Juracek. Nestrashil spins and shoots. Rippin knocked it down. Puck loose in front and batted down the ice by Julius Miettinen.
Still 30 seconds left. You want to jump over the boards with urgency if you're Czechia.
Galvis's pass, and that'll be icing against the Czechs. An unforced error there with 28 seconds to go in the power play.
It's been a good kill for Finland since the goal against. They even created a pretty good opportunity. Saarelainen knows Kubiesa's tired. That's the first touch for Orsolak, and it's a good save to do it. And here's a look at the goal. A little flash screen by Galvis as well. Doesn't make it any easier for Rimpinen. And no, Sikora did not become draft eligible for this game. He has put a cage on because he got clipped in the face.
Yeah.
But you know, once you drop the full bubble, you never want to go back to it.
Chihas drops it back. Novotny, a shot that drifts wide. Held by Sikora. That was knocked down for the moment by Vestarinen. Chihas, time for one more rush for the Czechs. Novotny works in. Sharp angle, takes a shot, ripping and save, rebound, and that's stopped off the stick of Chihas. Back at the point, Kubiesa for Galvis. Time winding down. Galvis back across to Sikora. Shoots. He whistled that wide. 4 shots for the Czechs in that 5-minute power play. They score once, have a 1-0 lead. If you're Finland, it almost feels like a draw.
Especially when you killed off the last 4 effectively.
Nippiger sends it back around, and now for the Finns, a chance to get their offensive players on the ice who've been sitting for most of the first part of the first period.
Think of about the break between warm-up and it's probably been half an hour since they stepped on the ice.
Back at the point. Fibiger, a shot that was tipped in front. Good stop by Rippinen. Fibiger plays it back across to Murtka. And Vadim Murtka has to retreat as the Finns break it out. Leo Tuva puts it back wide of the Czech goal. Murtka back to pick it up. His turning tip is knocked down. Here's Jokinen, sends it back in front. That pass just missed Saralainen.
Murtka is a monster out there.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'6", 198 pounds. In the Western League, he's listed 20 pounds heavier. That might be old information from the Czech Hockey Federation.
First time I see him, he looks every bit the 215, 220.
Plays for Seattle in the Western League. And here is Koivu. Out goes Koivu. Up there by Polenstein. He's back out there. Now the centering pass for Saralainen knocked away and moved back out by Curran. Away comes Max Curran. Stays on it. Curran tried to center it. That was knocked away. Polenstein back with it. Missed the pass for Curran. And here's Vatanen picking it up. Up in the middle for Daniel Nieminen. Moves around Matthias Mann. Polenstein tries to chip that loose. Mann comes back in. Matthias Mann plays for Prince Albert. Back at the point, that's played across by Lassi Boljus and knocked back down the ice by Benak. Boljus, lead pass, Remo Hemming. Takes the return pass, that missed. Now back up to center ice. Kivaharju plays it back across for Nukari. Big collision at center ice. Jiricek bumped into Miettinen. And Miettinen, who returned to the Finnish lineup for their second game, played last year for them, but missed the opener against Denmark. Nukari leads the rush, got held up from behind there. The Finns are hauling for a penalty. Well, played around by Suvanto. Knocked up by Jiri Klima, back down to the Finnish blue line. Here's Michi Jokinen. Winds in for the Finns. Jokinen shoots. It's off a stick and wide. Jokinen back on it. Zemlichka. Nice pass. Chias works in. He got poke check from behind. It's going to be a penalty.
No, that's a slash. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going for a slash. I wasn't sure what the indication was going to be there. But the Czechs up 1 are going back to the power play on day 4 of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Czechia, who scored their 1 goal on a 5-minute major, now pick up their their third power play in less than 10 minutes. The speed of Chihas so evident. He puts Finland on their heels. Pikkarainen doesn't know where he is, and like a little slash in the hands, but it's more that it dislodged the puck with that slash and foiled the chance. So Czechia right back to work.
Rippin has already faced more shots, 8, than he did last night, 7. So the Czechs are 1 for 2 on the power play, because when you score on the 5-minute major, a new power play generates. You can't go 2 for 1 on the power play.
And in that last break, Coach Roy Mikkola was pretty pointed to the officials, looking for some even-up calls.
Yeah, he was...
We're going to call the slashes and hooks both ways. Look out.
Kubiesa plays it across. That's a fluttering shot from Chihas. That's gloved by Rimpinen.
In a lot of ways, for Czechia, the best way to get in the zone and set it up is off face-offs. Teams don't press, and you have more time. Here's Mikkola. He wasn't complaining about the penalty against his team. He was saying, we were slashed in the neutral zone very similarly. You didn't call that one. Call it the same, and then maybe encouraging the refs to set their alarm clock and wake up.
They love it when you tell them that. Novotny plays it back across to Kubiesa. Galvas for Novotny. To spin that back for Sikora. Galvas back across Kubiesa, who has the Czech goal. That's poked away, and a good defensive play by Ruohonen. Boy, the Finnish penalty killer is getting a workout here in the first half of the first period. And meanwhile, the likes of Emil Hemming, the Dallas first-rounder, sit on the bench and collect dust. Kubiesa works it and shoots. That was blocked in front by Jokinen. Sikora trying to flip that back. Another good defensive play by Ruohonen to send it down the ice.
And the strength of Finland is in their depth and the methodical nature. They just roll line after line after line. That has not happened for those 10 minutes of the game. It has just been killing penalties and changing.
Jiricek gains center ice. Plays it back down. Rimpinen left it behind the goal for a moment. Kivaharju can't clear it out. Benak back for Jiricek. Looks across for Nestrashil and goes the other way for Benak. Walks it and shoots. That was blocked in front. Good defensive play again by Nieminen. But the line held by Jiricek. Benak feeds that down. Chance back in front. And point blank shot for Curran. Turned away by Petteri Rimpinen.
Then Nieminen took a pot shot at Politin. He had blocked a shot. He wasn't feeling great. He struggles to get off the ice, but there's the block. That one doesn't feel very good. And he's trying to fight through it for this really good look. I always call this one the Forsberg to Hayduk, because he was king at that, and Curran's got to find a spot. There is lots of room on the short side to put that puck in the back of the net, and Max Curran just doesn't hit it. And with one defenseman out already, you don't want to see this kind of thing if you're Finland. Nieminen's one of their most important defenders.
The national draft
struggling. You're angry, it hurts, you're mad at everyone, you're killing too many penalties, you just get away from me.
Get that ice bag out of here.
That's it.
Face-off won by Curran, back to Jiricek, back across, and that shot was blocked by Kivaharju. As Benak got that away. Boy, Benak really wanted one in the third period against Denmark. They had extended power play time, and he was visibly frustrated he couldn't get one. Politin spun around along the boards and banked off Jiricek back to center ice. Here's Nestrashil back with it. Chicago first-round pick across to Curran. In comes Curran. Sumanto going to stick on that. One shot on that power play for the Czechs, and it's back across to Galvas. And they'll bump back out and race for it as Pikarinen moves in. In comes Pikarinen, centers it. And now Vatanen had that pass deflected away by Curran. Back at the point. Bolius. Look back across for Valia. That pass broken up, and a chance now. In comes Politin on the break. Politin, but pull it back around, goes right through the goaltender.
Just stay with the backhand move. If he just would have just gone to his backhand, it would have been an empty net.
And the Finns are hollering that he skated right through their netline.
He double deked right back into coverage. It was wide open.
Now picked up by Novotny. Novotny, he shoots and ramps off the stick of Bolius. Up and out of play, Thomas Politin with a great chance to make it 2-0 in a collision in the Finn crease.
Czechia has been all over Finland with the help of 7 minutes of power play time and a 5-on-5 breakaway. Politin's in. Now watch Rimpinen. He bites so hard on the backhand move that if he just skates the backhand, there is no way Rimpinen gets that post, but he tries to go back through and runs into Rimpinen and all the other defenders in a missed breakaway.
The shots are 10-1 Czechia in a 1-0 lead, but so much power play time is skewed out a bit as that shot goes off the glass, up and out of play. Well, Rimpinen, if he wants to be busier, he is now.
Well, I mean, he's played 2 games. He had 17 shots, 15 saves in 2 games, and you knew Finland's competition was going to increase. They play Czechia and then into Canada next game.
He averaged a shot every 7 minutes in the first 2 games.
He's averaging a shot just about every minute. This one.
And away comes Hemming. Emil Hemming, lone first-round pick on this Finnish roster. The Czechs have 3. Kivaharju back across for Nuki, and that shot is gloved by Orszalak.
So Petteri Rimpinen had a fantastic World Junior last year, and you see his stats combined have been very strong. He's got the attitude, the confidence. He's got the nickname that goes with a high-profile goaltender, Showtime.
Now, do we think he called himself that?
He didn't fight it. When you put it on your pads, it's like when I walked in and saw Jeremy Roenick's sticks that Styles on it. You're leaning into the nickname.
Finns lost the gold medal game in overtime in the United States last year. The bolt out of the blue by Teddy Stiga, who did not have a goal in the tournament to that point, did not have a shot on goal to that point in the tournament. Their second overtime loss in a gold medal game in the last 4 years, beaten by Canada in the tournament that was moved to the summer of 2022. It was Kent Johnson scored that one. Newbury long shot, cut loose in front. That was cleared away by Zemlichka. Moved back in by Klima. We'll say this once again, he's not related to Peter Klima, the longtime former NHLer, Stanley Cup champion with Edmonton. As Koivu moves in, but that plays offside at the Czech blue line.
And another guy who's had a good tournament so far is Atos Koivu,
who is related,
who is Saku's son. There's Saku and his wife Hannah, daughter Ilona. Probably in the same lucky seats from last game, sitting in a different order though. Have to change that up for the second period. But it's hard to get into a game. You want to get moving and get playing, right, and you haven't had the touches, you haven't had the minutes like you normally would.
Nestrashil moves back in. Bolius took that away. Plays it back around in the eminent. Knocked down by Mama. It's a hand pass called against the Czechs. 7 to go here in the opening period.
Just looking at how Finland is reacting to Väisänen getting kicked out. They have split the pairs. They've dropped Nieminen to play with Bolius, and they're giving Nukari to Kiviharju. So giving the captain with the guy who was the 7th defenseman, and it's Nieminen and Bolius, which makes their top 4 defensemen all left-handed shots, which can be awkward at times. But I do think they just want to have a Nieminen and a Kiviharju, at least one on each pair now.
Finns have 2 silver medals the last 4 years. Czechs have 3 straight medals as Nestrashil works in and try to center that, and the pass was knocked down by Nieminen. Prior to the 3-year streak of medals, the Czechs have not won a medal in 17 years at the juniors as the Finns ice the puck.
And the next 6:43 for Finland are just about reestablishing what you're trying to do. The whole game plan has been altered. The whole feel of this first period is a strange one. And just trying to get back to that cycle game, the ground and pound that I would call it for Finland, that they do so well. Now, right, they will never do it as well as they did last night against Latvia, who were tired and were overmatched. Right. Czechia is a bit stronger and stouter defensively.
Politin off that face-off win, plays it back to Jiricek. Flips that back in the corner for Benak. Curran back on it. Looks back to Fippiger. And now picked up in the corner by Politin. He finds Fippiger. And that long shot by Jiricek, blocked in front, rebound, and a great chance in tight for Benak. Jiricek, long wrist shot that's tipped high by Benak. He's been all over it.
He's gonna get one eventually. You can't keep giving an offensive player that good those kind of chances. That might have been Rimpinen's best of the afternoon. He had to fight through traffic. Benak gets underneath the coverage of Kuta, and he establishes position and has a clean swat at a rebound. Rimpinen fights off the first save, but the pad to make the second one really nice. That one slips 5-hole underneath them. Getting out of this period down just 1 if you're Finland or better would be big.
Out to center ice, this is Pikkarainen. Jersey drop, chips that back in, but it's played up by Murtka. Loose behind the goal, that's picked free by Pikkarainen. Works across the top, takes a wrist shot that was tipped high by Suvato. And that pass by Westergaard goes off a stick, back to center. Here's Max Westergaard with it. Bouncing puck is knocked back by Hawk. And Murtka plays it back around. for Galvis. Blue Deal making his tournament debut, chips it back in for the Czechs. In comes Emil Hemming. That pass knocked down. Zemlichka chips it back down to the finish zone. A race for it now, and getting there first is Jiri Klima. Klima tries to poke that tree. Zemlichka centers it, that's pounded wide by Kubiasa. Now Kubiasa back after it. He's taken down to the side of the goal. Kubiasa shoots, that goes wide. Picked back up by Howe.
Oh, that's a tight hooking call coming up.
Yes.
Mikkola will approve of this.
Oh, and that's a late shot after the whistle and a tip by the Czechs that won't be appreciated.
The late shot was not after the whistle. The whistle blows because he shot it. You can put the puck anywhere you want. Now, you know it's a penalty. You don't have to shoot it in the net, but it's not late. Whistle hadn't blown yet.
The tip on goal was after the whistle.
You're just skating and happened to hit you.
Well, untie the knot. Mike just tied himself into in a moment.
Finland, who have been killing penalties for most of the first period, now go to the power play and try to tie the game back up. Zemlichka, you got to know the refs are on high alert. He gets a stick parallel into the hands for a split second, and it is called for the offensive zone hook. Never one the coaches want to see.
16, 2-minute minor, hooking.
So Finland heads to the power play, 3 for 5 in the tournament.
Yeah, they scored 2 against Denmark in the first game. And 1 against the Latvians. Czechs have allowed 1 power play goal and 6 opposition attempts. Pulled free by Bannon. Plays it back across, and that shot taken by Kuta was blocked by Fibiger. Now Sikora tries to hold off Lassi Bolius there. And away comes Miettinen. Up ahead for his Everett Western League teammate, Bannon. Miettinen plays it back across, but the pass bounced away from Bolius. And again, the Finns without VT Väisänen, who would be on their second power play. Kuta plays it back in the corner from Miettinen, and picked off. And Jiricek to the line, but not out. Now move back at the point by Bolius. He keeps it alive for the moment. It trickles down, and now got it back up and played out by Jakob Fibiger. Plays for Brampton in the Ontario League.
All that clean time and space and handles from yesterday's game is not there for Finland in this one. Goes on a little bit quicker.
Kiviharju for Hemming. Moves around Pasanichka. And here's Kiviharju. The Finnish captain back across to Tuva. Tuva for Kiviharju. Looks back across for Hemming. Hemming feeds that down. Koivu. Back for Kiviharju to Koivu. Koivu flips that back across to Tuva, has some time. So the goal mouth, he plays it back. It's picked up by Sikora and set down the ice. Now it's center ice. Curran strips that away, looks ahead for Politin. Then Politin comes in shorthanded in the final seconds of the Finnish power play.
Got a high stick up on Kiviharju on that collision.
And Politin got bumped at the line, brought in by Curran. No shots for the Finns on that power play. Curran moves in, and Rippinen has to freeze that with Max Curran bearing in.
It's a good kill for Czechia. Strong on the pucks, pressure everywhere, closing down gaps and seams, and not much going on for Finland.
Max Curran's been a good player for the Czechs so far in this tournament. He's a Colorado 5th-round pick, plays for the Edmonton Oil Kings in the Western League, his 3rd year in the Western League.
He's right around it, plays with 2 really good players. The old CHL line.
(11-3) the shots for the Czechs. Novotny.
The Czechs have been so good in this first period, they might even be disappointed to only be up 1, because you know Finland's playing better next period.
on the boards for it. That's picked free by Nieminen. Back around for Nukuri. That's brought back out by Pikkarainen. Pikkarainen shoved Galvas off the puck. Westergaard in behind the goal for Suvanto. It's crunched there by Mertka. Loose to the side of the goal. Hawk knocked that away. It's back in front. Westergaard couldn't get a shot away. Suvanto battles over with Galvas. Now Mertka moves on ahead to Ludil. Chips the puck for Novotny as the Czechs are changing. Novotny pokes that in deep. As Nicholas Nukuri fires it right on goal and a chance back in front. That's off the stick of Kuta and just wide. Finnish player down in front of their bench.
Another high stick.
Well, that's Kuta, and there's no penalty coming. And the Finns are hollering at the officials. Inside a minute to go here in the opening period. Zemlichka plays it back to center. Here's Hemming on it. Poke check at center ice. And Kubiesa plays that back across. Here's Klima with it. And Vestorinen got spilled at center ice. Later on by Balila for Hemming. Crisscrossing there with Vananen. Hemming pulls that free. Amo Hemming winds in, slides it back across to Vananen. Here's Nieminen. Up on the board. Sekera's got it back as time winds down in the period. Looks ahead for Nestrashil. In for Sekera, pulls that free, sends it right back into the shot, fired wide by Pesanichka. He was all alone in front and missed the net.
That was a 2-on-0. Pesanichka could have passed that if he wanted to. I don't know if he'd want to have the defenseman taking the shot with all those forwards up on the play as well, but
what a late look for the Czechs.
A period for Czechia. Start to finish. Take advantage of the early power play and right to the whistle. Sekera slips it over. And what a play. Pesanichka in alone. It was two defensemen breaking actually, and that one just sailed on him. Rolling a little bit off the tip of his stick. Great period. Now they got to try to find a way to do it again for the second.
1-0 the Czechs lead after one period of play. It's day 4 of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship in Minnesota.
Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. He's going the distance.
Visit wagovi.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Back in Minneapolis, Mate Kubiesa scores the only goal for the Czechs on a 5-minute power play that they got early in the first period. The shot's 11-4 in favor of Czechia. Let's go to Kenzie Lalonde.
Look, you're never going to forget your first line mate, especially when it's your older sister. The Vanhanens are becoming one of Finland's emerging hockey duos. Matthias and Sanni grew up playing hockey together in Nokia, Finland. They were teammates, even line mates with Tappara under-16 team. Sanni and both Matthias spent some time at home this summer to train together, building off the successful seasons in 2025. One where Sanni earned her 3rd Women's World's bronze, and Matthias earned some hardware at the under-18s. Now Sanni is a freshman at Ohio. Matthias with the Everett Silvertips, where he has a new line mate, even roommate, and Miettinen. The two are often watching Kraken games together. Matthias saying, though, he does try and work in an Ohio State game every now and then to cheer on his sister.
I like that so much, that they were line mates well past 7 years old, into their teens. Tells you how good Sanni was. Playing with the boys, well done. Except for the Ohio State part, that doesn't appeal to me quite as much.
Let it go. It was the 90s, for God's sake. Yes, Bowling Green State University.
We generally had their number.
Sekera hammers that wide. I don't think that stands up to much scrutiny, but Juracek shoots. That's blocked in front. Oh, do you now? Okay.
They were no good back when I was in college.
Oh, again, 90s.
Yeah.
Teams start the second period, 5-on-5. Long long lead pass for Sikora. Sikora wants to regroup. Got spun around the center ice by Hemming. And away comes Vananen. Vananen feeds it back across. That's skipped away from Hemming. Bolius. That's picked up by Sikora. And 3 checks break out. Sikora works in, trying to drop that back. Vananen picks it up and looks ahead. He had a breakaway pass there, but Ruohonen couldn't contain it. Moves to the side of the goal is Koivu. Up goes Koivu. Banks that back for Nieminen, and a shot that goes wide. Bolius plays it back down to Ruohonen. Ruohonen and that bounce back to Koivu. Koivu, a 3rd-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens in 2024. The booming voice of Hayden Verbeek telling the players to move it. And that lead pass just missed Benak, broken up there by Valila. Benak walks right in, holds, has the Rippinen down, and couldn't flip that back. Rippinen collided there with a defenseman, Mikko Jokinen. And now Ruohonen out for Saralainen. Jokinen hustles back, and icing called against the Czechs.
It was a frustrating first period for a lot of reasons for Finland. They took the 5-minute penalty early, and they thought they didn't get reciprocal calls. That hook in the neutral zone they didn't like. A definite high stick that Huta received was not called. And at the end of the period, Aaron Kiviharju went out there and had a little conversation. And Lauri Mikkola made a point to not leave the bench until the refs left the ice, to give them as long a stare down as possible to express his displeasure as well.
Tuva for Kiviharju. That pass almost intercepted by Benak. And that point shot by Nukana is blocked, and Benak brings it back the other way. Watched by Tuva, centers it. And the whole team just missed on that. Now loose back in front. They got it back up by Tuva. Kiviharju. Rinked wide to Nukari. Vestarinen through the middle. Looks that back in the corner as Curran goes back for it. Backs Curran. Up for Murtka. Ready Murtka. Finds Galvis winding in, fires, and he shoots that wide. Vestarinen back with it for the Finns. Still to come tonight on this side of the draw. Canada, Denmark this evening. The United States will take on Slovakia in about an hour and 20 minutes from now in St. Paul. That pass is picked up by Novotny. Shoots. Gloved down by Rippinen. And Hulk very nearly connected on the rebound there. Jiricek. Knocked down Pikkarainen. And Mann back to pick it up. That's the pass from Murtka. Mann snaps that pass in for Klima. Missed. And icing called. Look out. Hulk tangled up there with Nieminen.
Oh my goodness. And then Savato blows a tire and goes crashing into the pile. Like, accidentally gets tangled up, but you do have to be in control of your body. And Hulk gets Nieminen all wrapped up. John on the reach, and probably everyone helping each other not crash on the boards in a dangerous way. This game is on edge right now. You can feel the emotion starting to grow.
And you've talked about the stakes here. The object in Group B is to finish top 2 at the very least, to avoid potentially the United States and Sweden in a quarterfinal game.
And if Czechia loses this game, they're basically going to come 3rd. So a lot on the line. And if they win in regulation, then that game between Canada and Finland becomes very interesting. The math gets
on a whole bunch of levels.
Yes. We'll save that for a different day, but that gets complex.
Jokinen plays it back around. Jokinen jumps up. Jokinen walks across the top, slides that back for Hemming. His shot goes off a stick, bounces back in the corner. Valila looks down to Miettinen. And Miettinen sent flying. Vananen trying to poke that back. The two Everett Silvertip line mates going to work. Miettinen and Vananen, as Kenji Malone mentioned.
We just haven't seen Finland be able to get the puck off the wall and get that cycle game going where they possess it and confuse the defenders.
Klima Chips out ahead to Hook. Flips it back down to the finish zone. Goes off on a change as Klima comes in. Valila pivots back and drops that across to Jokinen. That pass is intercepted by Klima. Loose behind the finished goal. Klima walks out. Spins and shoots. Rippon makes the stop. Klima back with it. Fibiger brings it back around, and racing to it is Zemlichka. And the bouncing puck got away from Ruhonen as Fibiger guys it back up. Fibiger out to center ice, trying to find Zemlichka. That pass misfired. Icing called against the Czechs.
Czechs doing a really good job in their own end. Physical on the wall battles. And if you were in the dressing room after the first period in the Czech room, you know the message would have been, we have to be prepared to start the second period because Finland's going to be much better, much more engaged. And to the Czechs' credit, they have been up to the challenge in the first 5 minutes of the second.
The Finns parked on 4 shots. And at this point in the game, this is more than just being shorthanded a lot in the first period. This is not generating a lot 5-on-5.
They can't get a puck off the wall. That is the problem right now. The battles, when they get there, are just stuck there.
Kubiesa, who has the Czech goal, brings that back around for Fibiger. Another chilly day here in Minnesota.
That is very kind.
You're gonna check with it.
I'd hate to see what you call cold.
Good day to have a hot chocolate and tea stand.
No one would come out to get it.
That would be the problem.
They would be ordering it in.
Brought back in by Tuva. Picked up by Sikora. And now Sikora knocks it down. And his pocket pick there by Vetterinen. Everything back is Kuta. And that skips over the stick of Nukuri and back up to center ice. And Nukuri tries to poke that by head. Pounded it through the crowd of feet. And here is Jiricek. Adam Jiricek, the St. Louis first-round pick in 2024. One of 3 Brantford Bulldogs on this Czech roster.
Feels like you want to play Brantford right now in the OHL. They're down a lot of players.
Got 2 for Canada. Bulletin. As they spin it back across, and racing back is Nukuri. That's picked up by Bulletin behind the goal. Bulletin. Back around for Benak. Benak slides it across. Galvis across. That shot taken by Murtka. And Rippon makes the stop, and a penalty coming.
Is that a penalty?
They're going to call a hook here. The Czechs are not happy with it.
Felt like a stick lift and a stumble. That's a toe pick. Maybe all those conversations for Finland pay off with a benefit of the doubt call as Curran finds himself in the box. I don't think it's a penalty at all because that's a toe pick. It's an edge catch by Kiviharju.
Patrick
doesn't like it.
Agrees with you.
Check penalty number 12. 2-minute minor. Hooking.
They're going to say it's a hooking, so it's the stick lifts. But again, I don't think those were in the hand. You're allowed to lift guys' sticks. You're allowed to check that way. And nonetheless, it's a good game when nobody's that happy. So
Finns 0 for 1 on the power play. They don't have a shot in their first.
It's just 1-0 as lopsided as this game feels.
Finn was a shot away from tying it.
We barely said Mietinen's name, Vanninen's name. Their top offensive guys are out there now.
Bolius for Vatanen. And Miettinen tries to center. That goes off the stick of Orszalak and back down the ice. 7 gone here in the second period. Vatanen. Long lead pass for Saralainen. Saralainen trying to kick that free from Miettinen. Got it back up by Novotny. Comes out short-handed with Chihas. They crisscross the line. Chias goes off on a change. The body looked out. There's no teammate there. Now centers it. Hope works back in. That roll off his stick. Novotny brings it back around. Finland trying to get untracked here in the power play and get its first shot of the period. Bonus for Vanderland. And that's offside.
Just for symmetry's sake, in this game, Orsulak's getting one shot every 7 minutes, which we have seen before. And it's been a quiet game, which he would appreciate. Finland just can't find the flow. Lori Mikkola doing lots of drawing on the whiteboard, trying to get something unlocked. Even with the power play, they're having a hard time winning battles.
Mikkola, a long-time coach in Finnish junior leagues with under 20 and under 18 programs, primarily with Karpat and Oulu in northern Finland. Ruhonen drops that back to Kiviharju, but the Finns were a long way from where they need to be just now. Tuba centers it. Ruhonen drops that back to Kiviharju for Hemming. And now Emil Hemming swings it back across. Ruhonen back to Tuba for Kiviharju. Hemming tees it up and fired that way over the glass.
How about that? Off the mesh, back off Orsulak and in the net.
Right.
Obviously not a goal, but Czechia clearly had read the scouting report. They've seen Emil Hemming shoot the puck. They know he can really sling one-timers. But how about this crazy Karamazemi? Don't know if I've ever seen a puck come off that kind of angle from the net. And that was Juracek's shot block. And you'll know that that defenseman will be cheating out onto 22 Hemming,
right,
to take the lane away as best he can.
That's the biggest difference at this tournament over the years. It used to be the teams knew nothing about each other. They knew nothing about the other players. There was almost no video scouting. Now, first of all, a lot of them play against each other and with each other. Kiviharju back for Hemming. To Kiviharju. 10 seconds to go in the Finnish power play. Kiviharju a long wrist shot. Orsulak save, rebound loose in front. And Orsulak reaches back with his blocker hand and makes the save.
Was that a Koivu tip on the Kiviharju wrister? And it was a good job walking the line because, again, one defense is going to be cheating out on Hemming for a one-timer. So you get a puck down there. Koivu's asking for it right there. And he basically passes the puck in the air to the exact spot Koivu wanted it. You're trying to pull that puck down and back into the middle of the net. So as Orsulak is sliding left to right, his legs will open up. Great view of the stick tapping, and he did exactly right. Just couldn't pinball it home between the pads of Orsulak, but right there. Terrific shot by Kiviharju.
And Koivu knows that was close. Scored a goal against Denmark. His third year in Finland's top league, the SM Liiga. And his hometown of Turku will be one of the co-host cities for the 2028 World Junior Championship. This will be in Finland, Turku and Tampere.
Are the unflappable Finns flapping a bit? It feels like a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of they're instigating scrums after whistles, which is not what they do. They play hard whistle to whistle, then they just skate away and irritate the other opponent. But right now, they're the ones who are frustrated.
Well, they finally got a shot here in the period. This is not at all like their game yesterday, where they outshot the Latvians 41-7.
You have been acknowledging sometimes the difficulty in the schedule, and I sort of dismiss teenagers being tired.
You have not been sympathetic to the back-to-back cause. No. Are you?
Evidence would suggest that you are right and I am wrong, which I hate to acknowledge at any point in my life.
Offside called at the Finnish blue line. Pardon me, I'm just going to frame that for a second. Shorzy and the Bulldogs are back to face their toughest competition yet. The new season of the Smash Hit is now streaming only on Crave.
That's a funny show.
And the fellas been up playing some charity games.
They played the Leaf alumni, my Leaf alumni group, and sold out last year sold out the old Maple Leaf Gardens. They played at Scotiabank.
Yeah.
And generated all kinds of money for charity. They're good players. The guys who act on that, the team, all played high-level hockey.
Right.
Including some NHLers.
Vestergaard. We got a charity game against the heated rivalry guys. That'll raise some money.
Listen, I'll play. Show those first-round picks what's what. that show's getting a lot of buzz on Crave right now. And Mirtka has, I don't know if he's settled things down or the Czechs are just playing a very good game. You think about, they played really well against Canada, but they gave up 6 plus an empty netter. They were loose. So the offense was there, but the defense was not.
Right.
You put in Mirtka and his composure and his frame and his talent, and you wonder if that just sort of locks in defensively and makes Czechia a bit better. And couple the fact that he's so strong against Finland specifically, that much harder to cycle the puck against that guy.
We were talking to then Nashville coach Barry Trotz about getting Shea Weber back in the lineup. He said 25 minutes of good decisions.
That's it.
Never mind the size, the
and
shot.
battles won and everything else.
Yeah. That pass misfired for Bludil, goes back down to the finish end. Vestergaard back on it. Well, the Finns are famous at every level for their patience. It's being tested here this afternoon. Pasanichka back across the mound, a long shot, and Rippinen loves that and hangs on. And there's been stuff after the whistle almost every stoppage now.
And you know, we've seen enough games in this tournament when it starts going down that road, the refs will warn the players maybe 1 or 2 more times, then they'll take one guy.
They'll pick one guy out of a scrum.
And that'll stop all the scrums. And it's probably what they should do. If someone comes in with a pop or a cross check that's unnecessary, take that guy, put it in the box, and everyone's on notice then. Nothing after the whistle, or else you will be taking the box by yourself.
Zemlichka in for the face-off. He plays in Finland. And Vestorina moves across the Czech line, and that pass by Kuda broken up. And Zemlichka back the other way. Zemlichka. And Juracek took a run up Vestorina there and just missed him. Dropped back by Polius. And Vestorina chips that back to center ice. Juracek back to pick it up. Lasted less than a period in his first game 2 years ago. Tore up his knee in the Czechs opener at the World Junior in Sweden. And here's Juracek back for it.
Good news is it happened when he was so young. There's a lot of time to get 100% healthy before he heads over to the NHL.
There's an icing call against the Finns. It is hard to remember the time when every ACL tear, anterior cruciate ligament tear, was career threatening. There were real concerns, like in the 80s and 90s when guys tore their ACLs. There were lots who didn't come back.
Bobby Orr,
well, he multiple
that famously,
multiple tears, and
no, it's not nothing, but it's
just, now it's
a 4-month injury. You're back good as new.
We take it almost for granted that when you tear your ACL, you'll be fine.
Yes. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, it's
a tough face-off.
Snap the stick of Jesper Kuta, plays for the Ottawa 67s in the OHL.
Juracek, another one of the Brantford Bulldogs. He will be in the running to get to the Memorial Cup this year for sure. I can't imagine them loading up anymore. They're already loaded.
There's a high stick. And that is, Bolius is going to go off, and that's pretty clear. They're going to check on Sika right here to see how bad the damage is.
He's got a mask on. How bad can the damage be?
Well, as it came underneath.
Yeah.
Czechs back to the power play.
Real deal.
Czechia back to another power play as Sikora takes a hard wallop right into his chin. Thank goodness he had the mask on, and that would have done some serious damage. There's no arguing that call. Even with the mask on, he felt a little jolt.
Team Finland, minor penalty, high sticking.
And Czechia would be wise to take advantage of all this good play. Get one more. Get yourself a bit of a margin.
They're 1 for 3 on the power play. Had that early goal on the 5-minute man advantage. Finland's Viti Väisänen was kicked out.
30 minutes of the game, Finland will have been shorthanded for 9 of. Tough way to play and get in the rhythm of the game.
There was a cross check by Väisänen to the throat of Thomas Politin.
It's a good call. It was the right call. It was just a bad decision by Väisänen.
Off the face-off, Nestrashil. Back to Jiricek with a shot that ramps high off a stick. Nieminen plays it back around to Ruohonen. He'll wrist it down. And Jiricek back to pick it up. Up ahead to Benak. Keeps it across the line. That pass broken up. And Kivaharju sends it back the other way. Jiricek drops that back to Nestrashil. Snaps the pass ahead to Benak. He's tied up there by Nukari. And Nieminen has time and flips it down as well. And Jiricek back to pick it up. Older brother David was the top defenseman in this tournament in 2023 in Halifax. Czechs lost the gold medal game that year in overtime to Canada. Nestrashil works in. Drops that back to Jiricek. Holds and shoots. That's deflected just wide as Rippinen got a piece of that. Yettinen sent flying on the lead pass. In comes Kubiesa, and he rolls that towards the finished goal as Kivaharju got a piece of that. But a near breakaway in the power play for the Czechs.
Kubiesa, who's already picked up a goal on the power play, and he's out there looking at the replay. Turnover, Sigurdsson spots Kubiesa off the bench. He's changed for Nestrashil, and that's where you need your team if you're Finland. On the bench, screaming. Guys behind you, if you don't take note of them that there's a change going on there, almost split the defense, just couldn't quite get the pivot and push to get in clean.
Seeker in for the face-off against Ruohonen, who wins it. And Ruohonen, hit the linesman with that clearing attempt. And Galvas tries to play it back in. Knocked back out to center ice. And Serolainen bearing it on Galvas. Galvas moves away from him. Up for Chihas. And Serolainen spilled as Galvas has that pass go off the skate of Ruohonen. 10 seconds to go on the Czech power play. 7.5 to go here in the second period. Czechia leading 1-0 on a first period power play goal by this man, Kubiesa. Centers it, plays back across, and missing on that was Novotny. Kubiesa. Back across to Galvas. Galvas shoots, it goes off the leg of Kivaharju and wide. One shot for the Czechs on that power play. Here's Seeker with it. For Kubiesa. Back at the point. Nurtka for Galvas. And Galvas eludes 2 Finnish defenders. Pivots back in the corner. Galvas still on it. Gets some help from Ludil. Off the bench comes Klima. Back across. Nurtka with a shot knocked away by Rippinen. Galvas races to the loose puck. Plays it back in the corner. Kivaharju has it. And Ludil stepped into him. Finns having a hard time clearing it out here as Ludil steps up. And now Kivaharju plays it back around for Nieminen. Moves that back to center. And they're going to call this icing on the Finns, who had tired penalty killers on the ice, not to come back out.
Czechs keep putting pucks in the net, keep creating chances. And this looks like it's going to be a beautiful pass back door and ends up onto the stick of Novotny. And does he just miss this? No, it skips on him. Oh, you blame them. It's wide open. You're leaning on your stick. You're going to pop it top shelf. And for no reason than bad ice, just jumps on you. All that good work. nothing Novotny could do. He's got to shoot that puck as though it's going to be flat. Just a tough break.
Klima plays it back in. Kivaharju gathers it back up. Bolius brings that back in, picked up by Mann. Kicked ahead by Ludil. And this time it's icing against the Czechs so the Finns can get these tired players off the ice.
No, the Finnish bench and Lauri Mikkola does have reason to be frustrated at times and maybe not happy with the officials. But every time a Finnish player falls down now, we can hear and we can see the Finnish bench sort of erupting, complaining, and wanting better calls. That's not a good place to be in. I think sometimes the bench takes the personality of the coaching staff on the game. So you got to be calm and composed, and then the team should follow your lead. Oh, these guys getting coached up right in the middle of the game. This is a live shot for Mikkola, but I just think you don't want to go down that road just thinking that every single thing's going against you. You got to play and not complain so much.
Pesanichka bangs it back out, racing back is Pikarina. Valadov banks that back ahead, trying to find Vestergaard with that, but it's knocked down by Hawk. Out to center ice for Klima. And Vestergaard takes that pass at center ice. Moves around Pesanichka. Drops it back, and a hard shot taken there by Kuta, and a good stop made by Orsolak. One of the few good looks for the Finns in the game so far. 5:31 to go in the second period. It remains 1-0 Czechia at the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
One of the best chances for Finland on only their second shot of the period goes to Kuta, but the play's made right here. Vestergaard. That's the battle that Czechia has not lost all game long. Sinichka tries to step up. He gets beat wide, and the speed of Vestergaard has been noticeable all tournament long and creates a really good look on the seam pass one-timer. Finding a bit more speed through the neutral zone would be something Finland's trying to create.
5:31 to go here in the second period. In about an hour's time, the United States will take on Slovakia. Earlier today, Sweden rolled over Germany.
8-1 final over there?
Yeah. The bottom team in each 5-team group will play in a single-game relegation playoff, with the loser being dropped down to Division 1A next year. Hemming plays it back across, and that shot by Nukri was blocked. Flipped back out by Jiricek. Nukri fires it back in as Curran goes back. That pass bounces back to Kivaharju. Has time and shoots, and Orsolak got just a piece of that. Vatanen back across the top, shoots. That's deflected wide by Miettinen. Kivaharju chips it back in. That centering pass by Hemming is knocked down. Back up to center ice, and Bolius picks it back up. Kivaharju. To Vatanen. Kivaharju. Pivots back, trying to direct some traffic, and slides it back. Bolius, an Anaheim second-round pick. Their GM Pat Verbeek is here this afternoon, watching his prospects, and his nephew, who is referee Hayden Verbeek, number 48. Now Koivu spins, and that shot was blocked. Got it back up by Nestrashin. Looks ahead for Fibiger. In comes Chihas. Around Bolius, who plays it back around. Now a chance for the Finns as Saralainen gathers it back up, but just out of his reach, and now picked back up by Murtka. Out to center ice. Chihas trying to find it. Saralainen has it back. He's bumped there by Sikora. And Sikora works that free. Nestrashin knocked off the puck by Nieminen. And Chihas plays it back for Sikora. Galvis up for Chias. He's kicked back down to the finish zone. Nieminen for Valila. And back down to the check zone as Galvis goes back and just missed there on the hit by Tuba. Novotny pokes out ahead, but got it back up by Mika Jokinen. Out to center ice. Here's Murtka trying to find Novotny. Not much space out there in the second period. Jokinen moves around Novotny. Slides out ahead for Tuba. Looks ahead for Kuta. And Galvis breaks that up. Galvis up for Hawk. Looks for Hudil. And Jokinen spins away from Novotny. Falls. And Vestorinen gathers it back up. Back for Nukuri. Shots are 5-3 Czechia in the second period.
Czechia showing a game that they haven't shown so far in the tournament.
They're playing what the Finns did.
Yeah.
In their first couple of games. Vestergaard flips that down, and the bouncing puck goes off Orszlak into the corner. Inside 2 to go in the second period. Suvato. He's got Kasanichka all over him, and that's going to be a penalty to the Czechs. Kasanichka's going to get it here with 1:44 to go. And on the other side, Vestergaard and Mann into it.
Don't want to give up the power play for Vestergaard. And that was a holding penalty about 7 seconds in the making.
Right. And once the Finnish bench started hollering,
Snichka knew that he was in a bad spot. He had his arm wrapped around. The stick was up on the glass. It's hard to unwind yourself. In fact, you're often best at this point, drop your stick. Otherwise, you're going to get a penalty. I mean, that's a hold. You lose body position. He's tugging on the arms. That one could have been called. Then eventually this one was. So here we go. Finland, another power play opportunity. They've had not a lot going on in their power play.
They're 0 for 2. They've got one shot. Finns actually had a couple of good short-handed looks on the last one.
So can they maybe find a late tire?
Rohonen wins that back for Hemming, but he's tied up by Jiricek, who sends it down the ice. Rippinen chips it back across to Tuba. Kivaharju up ahead to Hemming, fires that back down to the Czech zone. Czechs are 7 for 8 in the penalty kills so far in the tournament. Kivaharju walks right in, feeds it across. Hemming shoots, and a great shot blocked there by Jiricek, and that took a bite out of him.
What a read, though. Playing the gap and then the shooting lane as well. Really well done. And he's going off and got that one in his right hand.
Kivaharju fires it back in. Minute to go in the second period. Murtka comes out. And it's shipped ahead. Sikora. Lead pass to Politin. In shorthanded. Politin fires. And Rippinen got enough of that to knock it wide.
That's his second clean breakaway of the game for Politin.
Both shorthanded. And Koivu now comes in across the Czech line. Another chance this time for Curran, but way out the plate is Rippinen. Back for Bolius. Bolius. Lead pass for Kuta. Centers for Väinänen. Inside 20 seconds to go in the period. And now Novotny back the other way, shorthanded with Curran. Novotny winds in, splits to Dean. It's knocked away by Bolius.
Novotny trapped. Last couple seconds, if you go.
Bolius works it back across, and the shot by Serolainen blocked at the horn.
Well, right to the buzzer. Czechia continues to do all the things they need to do to win. This is brilliant stuff by Jiricek. He's playing 3 different people and eventually makes the right decision to take away Emil Hemming's one-timer with a glove save. And make no mistake, that hurts your palm badly. It'd be stinging right now. And then Politin in alone. He's going to wait for a second, but elects to shoot this one. Rippinen is beaten through the 7-hole, but not into the back of the net. Czechia has been the much better team through 2, although they lead just by 1. The second intermission.
Through 40 minutes, the Czechs have the lead. Coming up at our second intermission from the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
HF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
No scoring in that second period. The shots were 6-3 Czechia. It remains 1-0 Czechs after 2 periods in a very important game in Group B here at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. This has been a hard game to play in, a hard game to officiate. And the Czechs are doing everything they can to try to grind the Finns down.
Sometimes games just boil down, kind of cliche, but battles won. And it's not about lack of effort. Finland's doing everything they can. But right now, Czechia has just been physically a little bit stronger, a little bit more efficient at winning battles. And you can win battles with your sticks, with your feet, with your checks, whatever it might be. Czechia is using all of those things to win more than their fair share. There's a reason why Finland has 7 shots after 2 periods. Not because they're not trying, not because they're not good. It's because Finland has been stymied by all this good work by Czechia. Not every 50-50, but a disproportionate number of 50-50 pucks are going Czechia's way.
Now, the addition of Radim Mrtka to the Czech lineup might have something to do with their stouter play. They'll begin the third period shorthanded. Pesanichka's got 16 seconds left to serve on his minor penalty. But they win the first face-off as Sikora wins that. Kivaharju, lead pass for Miettinen. Vaninen back with it. Knocked down to the corner is Jiricek. Stepped into Miettinen. He centered it though, and that was knocked away from Hemming. No shots for the Finns on that last power play. Sikora going to flip that back ahead. Held by Fibiger at the line. Sends it back across Nestrashil. The shot was blocked by Kivaharju. Nestrashil a clean look. And Kivaharju sprawled in front of him.
There's been very little clean looks in this game.
Right. Nestrashil peels back in the corner, looks back for Fibiger. That shot goes off the foot of Ruohonen. Max Curran moved that back. It's picked off by Saarelainen. And Fibiger plays that away. Again, Finnish defenseman Vidi Väisänen was ejected from the game for a cross-check to the throat of Czechia's Thomas Politin early in the first period. As Koivu fires, that goes high and skips off the glass and out of play.
So many times in this game, it looks like a good chance is going to develop. Sikora has been flying, creating an awful lot. Fibiger's in a good spot. He kicks it over. But by the time Nestrashil has to catch and release as a right-handed shot, it allows Kiviharju to come in and just an ankle save. I don't know how that doesn't hurt these guys more than it does, but he'll be right back out there as he is. And it tells you on both sides, if you have a clean look, take it. Overpassing is more likely to get you in trouble than an open shot.
And as much as the Czechs have dominated this game in so many respects, it's still 1-0. That long shot by Nukari is knocked away by Michal Oršilák, the Czech goaltender. Bednak looked ahead for Curran. He was thinking breakaway there. Drops back at center ice. And Mrtka looks ahead for Curran. Curran tied up there by Nukari. Throws him down.
Oršilák was on his way to the bench thinking that was going to be a penalty. No call.
Galvas slides it back across. And that shot by Pesanichka is knocked away. Tuva by Curran and back down to the Czech zone. Pesanichka has to hustle back as Kunin hustled back to force the play. Back down to the Finnish zone as Nieminen goes back. Being watched there by Ludil. The last time these teams played each other in the World Junior was the 2024 tournament in Gothenburg. It was 8-5.
Ah, the good old days.
If this winds up 8-5. We got a story. Westergaard plays that back in. Kicks that free. And then gets tied up by Fibiger. Savento works back in front of Savento, turned away and tight. He's down. The goaltender's down. Nieminen gets poke checked there by Novotny. And the Finns apply some pressure here early in the third period. At the point is Nieminen. Long wrist shot goes off a leg and wide. Puck moves it over the head of Vestergaard back down the finish zone. And a very leisurely turn back by Nieminen.
Did Nieminen forget how to skate there? He was put the air brakes on. Here was the earlier non-call, and I think what the refs are reading is this might be a chicken wing, in that Curran feels the stick and wraps himself around it. I don't know if I'd agree with that assessment. That feels, oh, that's a pretty good chop right there as well. So maybe should be 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 either way. It's gonna be a physical third period.
Yep.
And controlling your stick, if you're Czechia, you played so well. Don't give up a cheapie by taking a bad penalty.
Czechs are 1-1. Finns are 2-0. Canada played Denmark tonight. Hemming long shot. The save made by Orsolai. Hemming back in the corner to Miettinen. That pass back misses everyone, goes back down the ice. Misses Hemming. Look, bad bounce there. Skip right back in front of Orsolai. Got to be careful with that. Kalichka to the line, but not out. Played back in by Nukuri. Hemming battles for that. And now Klima sends it ahead to Kubiasa. The Czech goal scorer had that knocked away. And now Klima has it knocked off his stick and back down to the Czech zone. 4 gone here in the third period. Klima jumps it across the line, goes 1-on-4 and shoots. It gets a shot away on Rimpinen. Another chance in front for Nestrashil. Goes, fires, and just missed wide. And now the Finns back the other way. Seralainen drops it back for Koivu. Koivu shoots, and Orsolai squeezes that, and there's no rebound.
We should not be surprised that this game is a tight one. All time in this matchup, dead even. 11-11-2 with 10 games decided by 1 goal, on pace for an 11. Nothing between them.
The last time they played was the bronze medal game in 2024. Finns led 5-2 in the second period. They led 5-4 with 1:56 to go. The Czechs scored 4 times in the last minute 56 and won at 8-5. Bolius plays that back. That shot by Nieminen is blocked. Nestrashil plays it across to Sikora. Sikora works it back in front for Nestrashil. He hooked it back there trying to find Galvis with the pass. Galvis. Oh, what a pivot there on Koivu. Plays it back, and Chihas a long drive that's gloved by Rimpinen.
Chihas has been good in this game. His speed has been noticeable. Player who does not play in North America. Plays over in the Czech League. 4 goals in 27 games.
Right. He's going to go to Kelowna of the Western League when this tournament's over.
And he will, Kelowna being the Memorial Cup host
right
this year, so they will be loading up. And another LA King pick in this game. He will be good in junior. He can really skate.
Tuva plays it back across. Valila chips it back down to the Czech zone. The first man there is Vestorina. Ruppe Vestorina spins back in the corner. And it's chopped down the ice by Curran. Racing back is Valila, being watched by Benak. Tuva had his pocket picked by Benak. Curran on the boards, wins that battle. Curran stays on it. And now Tuva lobs that rink wide for Vestorina. Knocked down by Pesanichka. Had the puck at his feet for a moment. And now gathers it back up. Up for Curran. Line was held by Kivaharju. Now Curran moves it back out. Vestergaard, great move. Moves it and shoots. Fired that wide. Pikarinen trips it back in. Curran waiting for it. Max Curran to the line, not quite out. Now moved up by Novotny. And Nukari drops it back for Kivaharju. Max Vestergaard moves that to Pikarinen. Gathered back up by Subanto. Trying to center that pass was broken up. We got an injured Czech player. That's Hulk who's down along the boards. The Czechs are banging their sticks on the boards. That long shot taken by Bolius. To wait for the Czechs to gain possession.
Well, there's injured and danger.
Bolius shoots. Pad save made by Orsolak. Another centering pass this time by Nieminen, and that's knocked away. And Nieminen lays it across. And that long shot by Bolius is gloved by Orsolak, and now more pushing and shoving breaks out.
Someone's getting a penalty here, though. Or both of them.
They're going to take them both, I think, for now.
Defenseman's in the pile, so the faceoff should come outside as well.
1-0 the Czechs lead, and a game growing some teeth here in Minnesota. Anaheim GM Pat Verbeek, a.k.a. the little ball of hate this year. 3 40-goal, 200 penalty-minute seasons for him. So naturally, his nephew, Hayden, is a referee. It's his brother's son.
He's about to make the calls. And
Hang on here, boys. Team Czechia, number 19. Team Finland, number 21. Both 2 minutes each for roughing.
important to remember, we haven't seen hardly any of this in the tournament.
Right.
Coincidental minors in the NHL, 4-on-4. Coincidental minors in this tournament, 5-on-5.
That's his dad is Brian Verbeek. Pat, 3,000 plus penalty minutes in his career.
That's a big number. He was a very good player, but I can still feel his stick in my calves. He just slashed mercilessly. When he was in puck battles, he just would wail away wildly. Oh, he was frustrated to play against. Look at this Chihash and Hemming going jousting at the blue line. And good on the refs. They also noticed that Bolius jumped in on the scrum.
Yep, so the
face off outside. Yeah. Little details matter with 13 minutes left.
Right. Hippinger for Jiricek, and then Hemming gave Chias another shot after the face-off. Rippinen plays it back around. Batted down by Vatanen. Works it across the line. Vatanen centers it, and that's kicked out by Orsolak, just out of the reach of Miettinen. Balala being shouted there by Nestrashin. That center ice picked up by Sikora. He winds it across the line. Sikora shoots. That goes high. Sikora trying to dig that free, but it's gathered back up by Jokinen. Now on the forecheck, that was Chias knocking that free, and Rimpinen has to freeze it.
There's been hardly a mistake made by Czechia playing without the puck, but there's a couple here. Nestrashin takes a bad line, then Jiricek does the cardinal sin, not the puck, not the body, and then they're chasing and almost get the puck over to Miettinen. There's just been very little of this. You can count them on one hand how many rush chances Finland may have gotten in this game.
Right.
And you just got to stay above the puck and be physical all the way to the finish line for Czechia.
Kivaharju off the face-off win by Ruohonen. And here is Curran back on it. Max Curran tries to kick that puck ahead. Ruohonen has it back for Kivaharju. Ruohonen for Kivaharju. Galvis goes back for it, brings that back around. Not as much heavy lifting for Galvis in this game with Murtka back in the lineup for the Czechs.
He might be leading the game in kilometers skated, though. He buzzes all around the ice.
Here's Murtka up ahead to Curran. That pass out of the reach of Bulletin. Kivaharju goes back for it. 11:45 to go in the third period. Czechs made it 1-0 at the 1:52 mark of the first.
That should not be icing. And there's a penalty coming up.
Yeah, and the evidence was spilled there.
I mean, Novotny, a late trip.
So here you go. The Finns got a power play chance with 11:30 to go in the third.
No need for that in the offensive zone.
Czechia penalty number 24, 2-minute minor, tripping.
Finland's got the chance here to get back in the game. Just the foot drag. It's a good call. Novotny knows what to do in the left foot, dragging it into the feet. I like that has become a consistent call, NHL, otherwise. That used to not ever be called.
Because whether you meant to or not,
it's still a trip, but I would tell you, he meant to. So, power play goes back to work for Finland.
Vestergaard and Ludil still sitting out there offsetting minor penalties. The IHF moved away from 4-on-4 a couple of years ago.
I like 4-on-4. It's more open ice, more offense. I know it's the danger when games get out of hand or maybe one team's much better than the other. And this is another face-off where there's lots of activity before the puck's dropped.
Seeker in for the face-off against Miettinen, and he wins it. Back for Fibiger. Bangs that back down the ice. Boy, Seeker's been a good player for the Czechs.
He's really good. Washington's 6th rounder. Really good player.
Brought in by Vatanen. Plays that back around. Seeker gets a stick on that. Chipped that free, but kept alive by Saralainen. Bolius to Vatanen. And Vatanen plays that back. Vatanen, hard shot, and a save made by Orszalak, and the Czechs clear the rebound.
Full one-timer by Miettinen in a good spot. Sheehash got stuck a little bit deep.
Bolius shoots, and through the traffic, Orszalak makes a good glove save.
Looks like you're going to need a tip to get one past Orszalak. He's seeing it clean and making good saves. And here you see the earlier chance. Miettinen just drifts in the high slot. Sheehash doesn't get over enough. Him and Novotny are trying to talk it out, but it's a little late, and that is plenty of juice on the shot, but no screen in front, though. Orszalak able to see it, save it. Miettinen says, that stick's not working. I'll take a new one. Clearly the stick's fault.
Curran for the face-off. He's also been really good for the Czechs so far.
And Finland turning it up 10 shots already in the third period after having only 7 through 2.
Jasenichka plays it back around for Polizin on his backhand, and he plays it back down the ice. Kivaharju up ahead for Leo Tuva. And Tuva gains the Czech blue line. That's knocked down by Mon. Hemming pulls that free. Emil Hemming tied up by Curran. And Curran backhands that down the ice. And Seeker steps back on. In comes Tuva. Fires that back around Hemming. Chops that back to Koivu. Koivu works it there for Tuva. And Tuva trying to find a lane. Drops it back to Kivaharju. Back across to Hemming. Catches, shoots. It goes off the stick of Seeker up and out of play.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
So we'll go down a bit of a linguistic rabbit hole here. Why isn't it Sikora, you might ask? Like Peter Sikora.
Of course.
Because Peter Sikora actually was Sikora in Czechia.
Okay.
So over the years, language and pronunciation evolves. We get recordings from the teams. We're trying to say it more and more like they do back home. In the Finnish case, had Teemu Selanne come over now, his name in Finland is Selanne. In Finnish, the first syllable is always emphasized. In Finland, he's known as Teemu Selanne.
I know him as Teemu Selanne.
I'm aware of that, and we all do.
But we get recordings now of the players saying their own names, so it makes it much easier.
Center pass knocked away from Galvis. And a lot of young players in the NHL are afraid to say anything, especially European players. They don't want to make,
No, ruffle any feathers and make life difficult.
A lot of them will say, you can't say my name the way we do back home. There's a lot of...
That is a challenge for me.
Now Novotny back on it. That had to leave that. The play's offside at the Finnish blue line. 1-0. The Czechs still in front. Lots more hockey coming your way from the World Junior Hockey Championship. Moments from now, it'll be Slovakia against the United States from Grand Casino Arena in downtown St. Paul. And then later tonight, here at 3M Arena at Mariucci, it's Canada versus Denmark as Canada tries to run its record to 3-0.
Try to get right offensively, which they did in a pre-competition game against Denmark.
They need a feel-good game.
Yeah. And the group's standing sort of hanging the balance of the next 9 minutes here.
Right. This is a crucial
massive game and how this group plays out.
Picarena moves that back ahead. Now Novotny with it, sends it back down the ice. Mika Jokinen spins back. Out for Valila. And Jiricek plays that back. More Fibiger. Jiricek. Now, if you really want to say Jiricek's name the way it is on the recording, we don't make some of those sounds. And here's Jiricek with it. Back down by Picarena. Nukuri. Gets it by Fibiger. Chihas back to pick it up. And Jiricek with the lead pass for Nestrachil. He finds Chihas. Chihas for Sikora. Taken down in front. He collides with Rippinen. And play continues.
And the wrestling match in the net is still going on.
Rippinen's got a hold of Sikora. Then Nieminen gives him a bump.
Rippinen expressing his displeasure.
In quite good English by the sounds of it.
He said, get him out of here. Or something like that.
Galvis. Up by the Kubiesa. Drops it back for Kern to Kubiesa. Long wrist shot goes off a leg and wide. Politin trying to knock that free. And now Finland's Bolius trying to retrieve his gear and says he got clipped the bases. Rippinen knocks that shot away. Kubiesa. Back around for Curran to Galvis. Galvis for Murtka to Curran. Shoots. That's blocked by Bolius. Bouncing puck in front. Knocked down again by Curran. Max Curran. Back for Murtka. Politin on it. Pivots back in the corner. Politin centers and a great shot there by Kubiesa. Kicked out by Rippinen. Bodies flying everywhere. Vestorina was taken down as Galvis winds in. Look at Galvis go. 1-on-4. Flips that back to the corner. Kivaharju. High off the glass. Hemming. Kind of along the boards by Novotny. And Kivaharju rings it back around. Flip to center ice, and Novotny skied to try to knock that down. Here is Kivaharju back with it. Emil Hemming moves around Hawk. And Pesanichka has that picked up by Miettinen. Fed back across, and Vanden's shot turned away by Orsolak. Miettinen. In for Hemming at the line. Held by Nieminen. For Hemming. Hemming gets the room and shoots, and it goes just high, maybe off the glove of Orsolak. Another point shot this time. Nukuri turned away. And it's played out by Ludil. 5.5 to go in the third period. A chance back in front. Nieminen turned away. Himmiger for Nestrachil. He knocks it free. Plays it back across for Chihas, who kicks it back down to the finish zone. Chihas, the first man there, collides with Nieminen. Nestrachil, a hard run there at Koivu. Kivaharju to Ruohonen. Back across for Serolainen. That shot by Koivu is deflected in front. Chihas lifts it back out to center ice. Inside 5 to go in the third. Czechs trying to make a 1-goal lead stand up for 53 minutes. Sikora walks in, leaves it back ahead. The pass just missed Nestrashil. Unicek down to Nestrashil. Centers it, Sikora to bounce away. Another chance. Sikora put that wide. Serolainen pivots back. And moves away from Nestrashil. Serolainen. Poke check there by Politin at center ice.
Good change.
And now Fippiger back for it. Politin chips out ahead. Kubiesa had to take it away. Picker at it. Moves that back in. Jiricek plays it back around. Fippiger trying to work it free, but Vestergaard has got it back. And that pass out of the reach of Valila. 4 to go in the third. Samanto. Centering pass was chipped away by Kubiesa. He sends it down, and that's going to be icing on the Czechs.
So the tired defense will have to come back out. Game opened up for a few minutes there. There's a couple of mixed calls in this game, including this one there. That is Politin accidentally puts it right across Bolius' face. Should have been a penalty, was not. And then the chances started coming fast and furious. Sikora tries to go through his legs last minute, gets tangled up, falls, and this scrum lasted for a long time. And I think both guys are holding on to each other. He's got a stick inside the pad of Rimpinen. He wants to get out of there. Rimpinen's holding him.
Comes in.
And you know what? That probably is the correct non-call in the whole situation.
3:50 to go. Face-off control by the Finns. Kivaharju for Nieminen. The stick blows up on him.
That's a break. Get a change in.
Yeah, Vanilin for Hemming. In comes Emil Hemming. Shoots and hammers that wide bounce right back in front. Kicked away by Kubiesa. Curran looks ahead for Kubiesa. That's chipped away by Nieminen. Curran brings it back off the bench. That was real holding.
No, it's totally fine. The guy jumped on the bench, didn't touch it. Looked bad, but it was okay.
Oh, got that knocked down by Vestergaard. Vestergaard kicking a shot away. Serolainen holds the line for the Finns. Played back across, and that shot by Nukuri deflected wide. Galvis up ahead for Hawk. Inside 3 to go in the third. And now Rimpinen looking to the Finnish bench for instruction. Murtka at the line that was held, and the point shot is squeezed by Orshlag. Checks it up by 1 late in the third.
A symbol forged in ice.
One goal to talk about this game, and it came a long time ago. We're 2 minutes into the game on a 5-minute power play. Kubiesa with a nice drag. At least see the ice still looks fresh. It was so early. And it has been a slugfest since. Physical, emotional, chippy penalties, some non-calls. And these two teams are playing right down the wire as they seem to always do.
That goal was scored about 2 hours and 20 minutes ago.
But in Czechia's defense, they haven't really sat back in this game. They pushed for the first 40 minutes. Now the third, Finland has been much better.
Shots were 11-4 for the Czechs in the first period. And after the TV timeout, Miettinen comes back out.
Sikora taking the face-off on his backhand. Yeah. Pretty good for a young player to have that kind of strength.
Sikora wins it. Fippiger brings it back around, but not past Kuta back at the point. Miettinen plays it back for Serolainen. Different look here for the Finns of Miettinen. Sending Serolainen and Valinen.
Rimpinen's ready to go.
Now chipped ahead by Nestrashil and Bolius. And Nestrashil wins that battle for the puck, so he keeps the goaltender in the net for now. Kuta plays that back around for Bolius. Across to Jasper Kuta. Slings that back down, and here comes Rimpinen. To the Finnish bench, and on the ice comes Vestarina. Vanhanen back for Polius, a long shot that goes wide. Serolainen trying to poke that back. Sikora got a stick on that, knocked down, and Novotny plays it down. Sikora wins this race for the puck. There'll be no icing. Sikora just pokes that back spark in the corner for Novotny. The Finns work their way up the ice. Lassi Polius works in. Vanhanen's shot was blocked by Jiricek.
Czechia needs a change. They have tired forwards on the ice.
Fibiger is happy to scrum that along the wall. Vestergaard pulls that free for Polius. Polius looks back down to Vanhanen. Polius right on the line. Cross he goes. The shot by Kuda was blocked by Novotny. Here's Kuda again. Final minute now of the period. Vestergaard feeds it in. Serolainen drops it back. Vanhanen works in. Couldn't get a shot away. Vanhanen centers it, goes off a skate and down the ice. And the Czechs get their tired players off. 45 seconds to go in the third period. Vestergaard back across for Suvanto. That's knocked away. And Kiviharju back with it. 30 seconds to go in the third. Tuva up ahead for Ruohonen. Drops that back for Suvanto. Now the centering pass. Chance for Hemming, scores! Emil Hemming with 19 seconds to go ties the game for Finland. Trailing for 58 minutes plus in the game. Emil Hemming, the Dallas first-rounder, cashes of a 6-on-5 to tie it up.
He's hanging on the back door saying, guys, make a play, get it open. I'm over here, I'll finish it. And the lovely little sauce from Tuva gets it to Hemming. It's in tight. There's a nice play by Ronan. That's over a skate and a stick. And even with the rolling puck, far down, right where he had to put it. Not in the corner, by the earlobe. And Finland, after chasing it for 2.5 hours, find the tire in Czechia, who'd been so good, so close, will look like have to go to overtime now. And Orsolak cannot believe that chance was created out of nothing. One good pass sprung it, and then a nice sauce. Perfect finish.
Hemming's third goal of the tournament. He had 2 against Denmark. He had just 1 in 14 games in 2 previous World Juniors. And so the Czechs can't quite bring it home. Ruppinen swings that back around for Kiviharju. And this is going to further complicate things in Group B as Finland and Czechia will go to overtime on day 4. 1-1 the score after regulation. 5-minute overtime and potentially a shootout coming up from the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship.
IHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By Esso, from the Esso Medals program to representing Team Canada, Esso is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
All right, so we're back here on the campus of the University of Minnesota for overtime between the Finns and the Czechs. And the rules in the preliminary round, 5 minutes followed by a shootout. The quarters, semis, and bronze medal game is 10 minutes of overtime followed by a shootout. It's all 3-on-3. And then the gold medal game is play till someone wins.
And the Finns were waiting for a hero, and Emil Hemming, we know he has an elite level shot. He scored a couple of goals the other last game, and you thought that might carry over. And he was close a few times, but couldn't quite find target. That one was blocked way over, but 2 good looks he's trying to find over the glove, under the bar. Misses high. This is all in the third period. Another break. Once over the glove, under the bar. Misses high. And when he finally had to have it over the glove, under the bar to tie the game in the dying seconds.
Long change
to set up
I'll
the
stay
3-on-3.
It's going to be a
And you want to talk about a game of inches? Fractions of inches. Ronan almost going offside on the entry. He's got to touch the puck before he gets in to establish control. And I mean, that is half a skate blade going 20 kilometers an hour. That was really close to being offside, but it wasn't. So we have a tie game heading into overtime.
This is the 4th time the Czechs and Finns have gone past regulation at the World Junior. The previous 3 all went to shootouts.
This one's not going to.
Well, that was before the 3-on-3 allotment. So let's remember that. Yeah. Boy, this has got massive implications.
We'll unpack them later, but if you're a Canadian fan, you're probably cheering for Finland here.
Unacek back with it, with Chihas and Sikora for the Czechs. It's Miettinen, Vananen, and Kiviharju for the Finns. Unacek flips it back across for Sikora. And Sikora gets a lane, moves it on Kiviharju. Sikora spins, trying to tap that back in front. Rippinen makes the save as Chihas was standing right there.
Moment of miscommunication. Kiviharju thought that Miettinen was going to stay in his lane, and Miettinen chased the other forward, Chihas, underneath Kiviharju. He had to make a late pivot and say, whoa, there's a lot of room over there. And Sikora wasn't able to muster much. Galvis could be dangerous in this situation with his legs on the back end for Czechia.
Curran, Benak, and Galvis for the Czechs. Ruohonen, along with Hemming, and Nieminen for the Finns. Benak's been all over it in the tournament so far, with not much to show for it. Here is Hemming with it. Scored the game-tying goal late. Back for Ruohonen. Daniel Nieminen, the Nashville draft. Drops that back for Hemming. Emil Hemming jumps it across the line. And Galvis going to stick on that to knock it away. Curran. NHL players generally identify the forward to attack.
You try to isolate and go one-on-one against that guy, for sure. You're trying to find Hemming here and get over to this side of the ice.
Benak goes in on Hemming, drops it back to Galvis and rolled off his stick, and back come the Finns the other way. Ruohonen along with Hemming. Ruohonen works in, Galvis comes back on him. That was Curran back defending. And now Hemming banks it back, but the pass missed. Arttu Välimäki. Both teams will change with 3.5 to go in the overtime. Arttu Välimäki. Pivots back, being watched there by Novotny. Drops that back for Vestergaard. Backs Vestergaard. To Saralainen. Moves it back over for Vestergaard. He's pulled check there. Good job by Orsolak to knock that away. He's lost his goal stick for a moment. Välimäki plays it back in the corner for Vestergaard. Looks back at the point. Saralainen walks in and shoots at the flip. The puck was off the crossbar. Almost a knuckler got in behind Orsolak. Now picked off by Novotny. He's got Fibberger, the defenseman, jumping in. Flips it rink wide to Fibberger. Czechs need a change. Nestershil goes off. And on comes Politin, along with Hawk. Fibberger. Lead pass to Politin. He's got 2 breakaways in the game. Politin winds back in. Pivots back, takes a whack there from Kiviharju. And now it's center ice, being watched carefully by Vananen. And Politin spins back. Drops that back to Hawk. He lost the puck on his feet for a moment. Stolen by Vananen. Back in front. Miettinen. Oh, the backhand labeled. And it bounced off his stick. Jiricek brings it back the other way. Jiricek goes behind the back. And then rolls down to Rippin and knocked that away. Now a chance for Jiricek in front. Has a look and fires. And Rippin gets a piece of that. Jiricek.
This is unbelievable.
Miettinen had the game won.
Empty net. shovel it in the empty net.
Sikora moves back in, drops it back to Chihas. That's poked away by Kivaharju. Played back across by Sikora. Takes a whack there from Tuba. Sikora crisscrossing with Jiricek, who's parked in front. Chihas was the lone man back defending for the Czechs. Sikora back in front. Jiricek goes between the lines and scores! Jiricek with a spectacular overtime winner! And the Czechs take it 2-1. Who does that? He does.
Marek Malik is smiling. That's how he taught him. What a finish!
What a goal by Jiricek with authority.
It almost ended a couple overtime for Finland. There's a poke check on Westergaard. Good stick by Orsolak. Saralainen has this one roll off the top of the net. Back bar. And then, of course, the best chance of all, Miettinen wide open in front. He's got an empty netter. He just loses handle. And then how about Mr. Jiricek? Sikora taking time, possession, and Westergaard lets him go. Oh, it's perfect. When you go to the poke check, you go through the legs and go upstairs. Oh, my goodness.
Defenseman Adam Jiricek.
What a play.
With one of the most spectacular overtime goals we've seen in this tournament. Wow.
That was brilliant. Yes.
We'll be seeing that for years to come.
Cue up your SportsCenter top 10 through the leg goals. Oh my goodness.
So the Czechs are 2-1. One of those wins coming in overtime, so 2 points for them. The Finns fall to 2-1, but their loss gains them a point.
You sort of look at points lost.
Right.
Czechs have lost 4 points, 3 to Canada, 1 in this game. Finland has lost 2 points in this game.
Right.
Canada's lost 1 point in the overtime win against Latvia. You work backwards from there.
As part of the
Time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the Czech national anthem.
Cultural teachings and deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. The awards will now be presented by Mr. Craig Floor, Director of Operations here at 3M Arena at Mariucci.
Everyone catching their collective breath.
Here we go. Team Finland, the goalkeeper number 30, Petteri Rimpinen.
He kept them in it for a long time. He was not busy in his first 2 starts, but he was really good in this one.
2 goals on 25 shots, the top goaltender in last year's World Junior Championship.
And he's going to play every game of this entire tournament, for as long as Finland goes.
Team Czechia, the best player of the game, number 17, Peter Sikora.
Sikora, who's been just everything for them. Offensively, assists on the game winner. Big face-off man for them. The captain playing in his 3rd World Junior Championship, or 2nd World Junior Championship.
And now, friends, we ask all who are able to please rise for the national anthem of Czechia.
best game of the tournament, at least over here in Group B, and what a finish and what an OT winner from Adam Jiricek as the Czechs take it in OT. And how big was that Finland goal to force overtime for Canada? Well, it guarantees that Canada can finish no lower than second, because if Czechia beats Latvia, they'll have 8 points. If Canada beats Denmark today, obviously. If Canada beats Denmark today, they'll have 8. Czechia can only get to 8. Canada beats Czechia head-to-head. So that's critical to avoid Sweden or the U.S. in a quarterfinal game. Obviously, the simplest thing is if Canada wins its last 2 games, they win the group and get the top seed in the group. So Canada-Denmark comes your way next. Canada's third game.